Hey guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that I have been asked so many times before. I prepared a huge glass of latte, so I am ready to get into the subject and to talk about everything about personal style. How I managed to build a personal style that can be distinctive no matter where I go. That also helped me to start a business. First of all, you have to ask your question, why do you want to change your style? What are the reasons why you feel the need to upgrade your style? For some people, it could be to be in a better mental space, like to work on the issues, insecurities, a positive image of their own body, And for other people, it could be a start of a new career or wanting to be a better person in their career or in their relationship. I don't know. There could be so many reasons. For other people, they want to get over past behavior, and with that a personality that was attached to that past behavior, and they want to build a new version of themselves. So it could be anything. So you have to find find your why, understand why do you feel the need to upgrade your style or change your style. My personal style didn't come from a drastic change in my life. It was more about things that I loved ever since I was a kid. So I have had a similar interest as when I was a kid, and I always built up on that. But I find it interesting to ask myself that question, especially when I find the need to upgrade my lifestyle or to change certain routines and behavior in my style or in my personality and lifestyle. I always find it helpful to understand the reason why I feel the need to change. And that is going to motivate me even more, no matter what I have to go through in order to come up to that change. So that's the first thing. Find your why. Understand why do you need to go through that change. Second point into finding your personal style is to find your inspiration. Ever since I was a kid, I always had these people that were around me, either family, friends, or TV personality or movie characters that always inspired me into having a mental picture of the person I wanted to become. I remember when I was a kid, we had a family friend that was always smelling good. You could get in a room and without seeing who was there first, you know exactly who is there because of the smell, because of those people have a signature smell. And he was an older person. He always made me want to be someone like that. So ever since I started, in my teenage years, I always was particular in the things, in the grooming product that I was using, either from the simple things as the soap, deodorant, or even fragrances later on. I wasn't able to have a collection of fragrances until later on in my life, but I always made sure that the basics were already, those things that really make you happy and excited to be in your grooming routine. There was someone else that always had impeccable hair. And if you know me from my very young age, I always had those crazy styles, not really crazy, but signature styles that you could recognize. Even at school, I remember I used to get into trouble because of my hairstyles. I had, for example, always a line on the side. I had a whole period of my childhood and teenage years with, how do you call it? The line on the side is like a parting of the hair from one side, and it was like the signature thing. And I think I probably saw it on TV or on someone that I was admiring. So it helped me, having someone that I look up to in terms of styles and grooming helped me also experiment with my own style and grooming and come up to things that I personally loved. Most of us had a phase of lurking into a fashion magazine or lifestyle magazine, and I think it also helped me create in that time the kind of mood board or vision board. I didn't know how to do that practically, right now, creating a vision board of what you want to achieve or how you want to look like. But I think in that time it was mostly a mental picture of the person that I wanted to become. What's the second point? Finding the inspiration. The second point is bringing us to a third one. Create a mood board or vision board. I don't know how you want to call it. It could be a vision board if it's a bigger picture of the person you want to become. It's more of a mood board if it's in terms of style and fashion, where you think about the colors that you want to build up on, the shapes, the structures, and the fits, and the items, the different items in your wardrobe that you want to focus on. Let me give you an example. For my personal style, the main items in my wardrobe are blazers. As you all know, I love the suit style. So in order to build a certain style character around the suit style, which is my personal favorite, I have to focus mostly on items like blazers. This one is an oversized jacket. It's a new experiment of mine when I'm trying to evolve in terms of my personal style, but it's still in the same style, the suit style. I have different other suits and blazers that are more fitted, more athletic. That's my main item. When you're creating a mood board, you have to focus on the bigger main pieces of your wardrobe that you want to work on. If you focus on that bigger part, it's gonna help you build progressively. If you building a style like mine, similar to mine, you probably already have different colors and shapes and textures of shirts and t-shirts, which is gonna help you to even create a variety with the same pieces. Let me give you an example. I could wear this blazer with button-down shirts. It would look like another outfit. But the main things, the main points are the blazers. When I build a certain collection of blazers in my wardrobe, it's become much easier to play around with them. You have to think about that main piece. Some people are into layers, jackets, bomber jackets, vests, blazers, suits. Other people are into dresses. Probably gonna think about, sundresses, maxi dresses, midi dresses, mini dresses. Other people are into skirts, other people are into monochromatic looks. Think about what you are into. If it's a monochromatic look, you understand you're gonna have a certain palette of colors you're gonna play around with, and you're gonna try to blend together the same colors of different pieces, and you're gonna come up to a personal style, That's how you create a mood board. It's like having a proper picture or vision of what you want to look like in the future. If you go on Pinterest and type mood board, it's very easy. They're gonna bring you so much options. If you don't know where to start from, get inspiration from Pinterest. I think Pinterest is the number one app for every stylish person or everyone who wants to build a style. It's really helpful, especially if you are self-taught, as I am. That was number 3. Create a mood board or a vision board of the person you want to look like. Number 4. The point number 4 is be patient. It's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna wake up one day, throw away all the clothes that you have in your wardrobe and go shopping for new clothes. Even if you have the means to do so, even if you have the budget to do so, it wouldn't make sense. That's not how it works, because we progressively build a style. It's not an overnight thing. Even if it's working for someone, even if you were to go and copy someone who is already having a certain style that you admire, it doesn't work like that. Because we all know we can buy something and we think it's good for us. But the moment we start using it, we just realize we want it probably a bit different, in a different color, in a different shape. We figure out that's not maybe what's more comfortable for us. So it's a gradual process. What my number one suggestion is to build progressively the style that you want. Start with, when you go shopping, when you have a mental picture already of the person you want to look like, you have a mood board or a vision board, you're gonna start changing as well your habits, shopping habits. You're gonna start thinking, if I see something in a store, do I just want to buy it because I just feel the impulse to buy it? Or do I feel like it's gonna perfectly match or perfectly fit in my goal in terms of the wardrobe and the style that I want? So if I go shopping and I see a neon bomber jacket, I already know, I don't even look at it, I already know it's not gonna fit into my personal style. And I understood that with the time, I had some pieces in the past, I'm sure of that I was wearing, but then I realized later that it's not really my thing. I don't feel comfortable. It's not me. But then if you go and do a whole shopping in one day and completely change your wardrobe, you're probably gonna buy so many pieces that you end up realizing you don't want or you don't need in your personal style. So that's why it's a gradual process. Start with changing your routines in terms of shopping, buying the pieces. If I feel like I need a new pair of shoes, I'm gonna think about my personal style that I want to build and always go in line with that. It's probably gonna be loafers or derbies or anything, around my personal style. The point number 5, embrace making mistakes. Be okay with looking stupid. I made so many fashion mistakes and I still do even now. And it's okay, because the point is not to look put together all the time. Because even the people you think they're the best looking every day of their lives, they always make mistakes as well. And the most important, they get there because they made mistake, because they were okay with making mistakes. There is no shortcut. You learn through mistakes. Once you do something and it goes wrong, you know what not to do the next time. If you stay away from mistakes, you will never know. You will never come up to build something. You will never understand why it didn't work in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's never a failure, it's more of a lesson, and then you get better with the time. The reason why most of us remove or archive Instagram pictures is because we understand that it doesn't fit the person we are anymore. It helped us get to the person we are, made me understand the person I wanted to be, and it helped me to achieve that. If I didn't do those mistakes, and if I didn't look stupid even for a day or two, if I didn't make crazy choices in terms of grooming and hairstyles and all of that, I wouldn't know where to fit right now. I would still be, either conforming to everyone else or not even understanding what I'm about, how I want to introduce myself to the world. Taking the risk. If you don't take the risk, you will never know what is probably gonna work on you. If I didn't take the risk in the first place to dye my hair blonde, I wouldn't know that it's actually my signature hair. It's actually my personal favorite, and I would, I'll be missing out on that. I'll be missing out on what works on me. So that's why I always encourage to embrace making mistakes, take the risk, be okay with looking stupid from time to time. It's only gonna last a certain period. It's not gonna last forever. The point number 6 is create habits. Create or upgrade a habit. Habit when it comes to grooming, habit when it comes to shopping. We already talked about shopping. How is everything put together? The smell of the person, the cologne or the aftershave, or all those small things that you might think they're small, but they actually create a personality in our mind. Because when you meet the people, if someone smells good, you're gonna automatically feel comfortable with them, being around them. So it's those grooming things that influence very much the overall style of someone. If you have impeccable style, if you look amazing, but you smell bad, everything else is gonna be, nobody's gonna think about anything else. Nobody wants to be close to you. You know what I mean? If you have bad breath, nobody would want to be next to you or to talk to you. So it always starts with a grooming. You have to create a grooming routine, especially if you are like me and have, let's say, a sensitive skin. My skin is very sensitive, so I have to be careful about the products and everything I put on my skin. I had to learn to use sunscreen. Those things that a lot of people think, oh yeah, when you're black, you don't need sunscreen. I had to be careful about the things I eat. And as you grow older, you have to keep adjusting and to keep improving those routines in your lifestyle. And those help you to even feel like, oh, I look good. You look at yourself in the mirror and the first thing you see is your face and your body. So these are the first things that have to look the best or have to look good in order to influence everything else to look good. So create habits, create grooming habits, skincare routine, in order to know exactly what works for you, what works for your skin, what works for your hair. And what works for someone might be different from what works for the other. In the end, with all those creating those habits, you're gonna come up to creating your signature style. You can start by following the trends, because the trends somehow help us place ourselves. When you manage to have your own routine and have your own habits of grooming and styling yourself, you come to find what works for you. That's how you create a signature style. That's why the way I wear my suit is probably going to be different from someone else who is also into suit style. You know, we don't look all the same. We have so many people wearing suit style, but I have my way of wearing it and someone else have their way of wearing it. And if you come to my platform, you can understand or have an idea of my personal style, and you can either choose to interact with it or not. And that's also something that is very key into creating a business around the style and the fashion, because you have to understand what you're into. What do you bring to the marketplace? What version of style do you bring to the marketplace? We understand that we don't just dress because we want to cover ourselves. We always dress because we want to make a statement, or we want to introduce ourselves to the world, no matter what we choose to introduce as a message. We always have a message. That's what people don't realize. Sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, I don't really care about what I wear, I just wear what I want. And they don't realize that that's already a choice to send a message as, I don't care. I don't care about myself. I don't care about my health. I don't care about the perception other people have on me. So I actually don't care about myself. You know, I don't have the respect to myself. And that's a huge message that is not working in your favor. You know, because we always, no matter who we are, how old we are, what we do, we always have a message to send. You know, if someone is unkempt and unclean, it's going to send a message, no matter if you care or not. It's going to influence how people treat you and how people perceive you, no matter who you are. Because the respect and how people are going to treat you, it's all going to depend on that. Again, a lot of people say, I want to be as rich as any billionaire so that I don't care about how I look. But they don't realize that even those billionaires, they still do. There is a certain thought into deciding which t-shirt they're going to wear. And the t-shirt they're wearing is not your basic t-shirt. You know what I mean? We always have a message to send, and you have to be careful if you really understanding the power of it, and if you're using that power in your behalf, because it starts with the first impression. Why not work on the first impression people are gonna have on you? And they're probably gonna decide if they're gonna listen to you, if they're gonna open the door for you or not. That's what I find amazing when you manage to create a personal style, upgrade your personal style, or to put out a certain version of yourself to the world, because it's gonna basically change the reality around you. Thank you very much for staying until the end, and I really hope this video was helpful and answering the question if you had a similar question of how do you build your personal style. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week with another subject on another video. I love you. Bye bye. Cheers.